No.
Neither are you.
No.
You guys are out there protecting our children. I've saved hundreds of lives. I've helped people live and die with dignity. I've even had to take lives. Despite that, like many others, once a hero, now we're pariahs. There are many nurses and doctors, paramedics and police who are with us. But they're pariahs now. They're getting the sack. 70,000 health workers in Britain fired. Okay, now, on to some of the nitty-gritty. In the late 20s, early 30s and 40s, the Nazis were committing crimes against humanity right across Europe. The powers that be, they said, this couldn't be happening. Someone would know. Someone would be able to... This is a conspiracy theory. No one could possibly be doing all these things. Neville Chamberlain, the British Prime Minister, took it upon himself to go and meet with Adolf Hitler in appeasement, please. And he came back to the British people waving a little bit of paper. I watched it last night on the television, actually. It was on SBS. I don't watch the ABC anymore. Yeah, boo. Yeah. Too right. It said, peace in our times. Few wanted to know, and even fewer believed what was going on across Europe. One man stood above it. He said the regime was evil, pretty much like what's happening now. Winston bloody Churchill. A lot of people didn't like him, but he stood up and he said to Chamberlain, we need to pull our finger out and do something. People are dying. We all know what happened next, don't we? With all the technology they've got today, do we really believe that the propaganda machine could not convince people, those people in groupthink, the unthinking masses, could not be convinced that we are wrong and they are right? Am I right?
Yes.
I'll tell you why I'm right. Because 6 million Jews walked into the showers expecting a cup of hot soup afterwards, and all they got was Zyklon B and a bloody hot oven. Yeah. That's what we're walking into here. The activism you're taking part in is a great thing. Civil disobedience, not violence, is necessary. It's the only thing they listen to. Throughout history, the only difference has ever been made by rebellion. How many times do we have to hear it? Those who sit back and do nothing, nothing will happen. All these people understand is their worship of money and power. They will say violence never achieved anything and tell us to be peaceful. If that's so, what the fuck happened at the Shrine of Remembrance?
Yes.
Peaceful protesters shot with baton rounds. That's what they call them. They're not rubber bullets, not little bouncy things that bounce off you. They are the size, double the size of an big A battery. And they're flying at 650 foot per second. And when they hit you, they will kill you in the wrong place. They will take your eyes out. They'll fracture your skull and your jaw. They're evil things. We used them in Northern Ireland, I'm sorry. But we were having bombs thrown at us. Those people at that rally were peaceful. I saw them even singing the national anthem. They used CS gas. Now for those of you, and probably the majority of people here, think yourself lucky you've never been exposed to CS gas, because it's like being on fire. Everywhere, your lungs, your eyes, your groin, your genitals, your armpits. It's irresistible. Even soldiers, special forces soldiers, cannot fight CS gas. Why? What were they doing? And their wars, their filthy wars. Did you know the Australian government sanctions the sale of weapons and bombs and bullets to despot states like Saudi Arabia, and they're bombing starving children with them? That's a fact. Now, in my own case, this is about the violence thing. My own case, I fought the IRA, the Irish Republican Army, for many years. And we were told as soldiers, don't worry fellas, the terrorists never won. Never win. Guess what? They won. They got what they wanted. They got a seat in Parliament. They got what they wanted. And who are they chasing now? The soldiers that the pigs, sent over there in the first place. We were told here, the Taliban are terrorists and they'll never win. Guess what? They've won. We have left the Afghan people to be tortured and murdered by the Taliban. They won. And it happens over and over and over again.
Enough is enough.
Yes. And who's being hunted down now? Our bloody soldiers. They got sent over there by the pigs, whether they did wrong or right. They got sent there. Right, okay, now on to the COVID. We all know this COVID epidemic, it's about control. The vaccines are all part of that control. Austria has just mandated vaccinations mandatory for everyone. Well, the similarity between the names, trust me, it's going to happen here. They tell us that COVID is a novel virus. Brand new, never been heard of in the history of humanity. And then in the next breath they claim, oh, we've been testing these vaccines for decades. What is it that people don't understand about that bullshit? Are they stupid?
Yes. Brainwashed.
Drones. Now, I taught anatomy and physiology at TAFE for many years. It was one of my specialist subjects. mRNA vaccines get into your cells through the cell membrane. They get into the cytoplasm of your cells, the fluid part. In there, not just the nucleus of a cell, it's not like an egg. In there are a number of other organelles. The Golgi apparatus, which makes the cell live and produce enzymes. The endoplasmic reticulum, that does the same. More importantly, the mitochondria. The mitochondria is your mother. It has your mother's DNA in it. Now they keep telling us the bollocks that these spike proteins won't interfere with your DNA in the nucleus of a cell because it's protected. What about your mother's DNA and your mitochondria? If you've ever seen mitochondrial disease, do you know how long we live without mitochondria? 1 second. They are absolutely essential in every cell in your body. Mitochondrial disease is one of the most dreadful things there is, and it takes years to manifest. Again, they say violence is not the answer to this issue. Why then do they all so happily use it against peaceful protesters? Why? Okay, let's get into how we can do some bit of resistance apart from what you're doing today. What's up?
Keep going.
Hit them where they feel pain. Hit them in their bloody wallets. Take away their money. Barter. We can't go in the shops anyway. Barter. Okay? Form black markets. Use cash. Use cash for everything. They're going to try to stop the cash because that's about control as well. You don't need to know this, but people do. Stop buying stuff. Stop buying everything and thinking that's going to make your life better, because it's not. Stop flying everywhere. You don't need to fly everywhere. We live here. We live in Australia. We used to be free. It's just trashing the planet. Do what I did. And they won't like this. Take any savings you've got from the bank. Because it's not safe there anyway, is it? Some prat in Nigeria is just as likely to steal it as it is to get lost by the bank. Stick it under your mattress. Proverbial mattress, of course. Not your real mattress, because I'll come looking. Grow your own food. No more business as usual. Prepare your own shelter and do what I'm going to do if you need to. Bug out. Have a plan. Bug out. Turn your mobile phone off and piss off. Take care of those who are with you. Avoid those who are against you. They are your existential enemy. It's a fact. They are playing on this, just like they're playing on the right-wing terrorists. Just like they're preying on the right-wing terrorists, all the old ladies and old men stood on the steps of the Victorian Parliament. They're terrorists, and they beat up some politician's daughter. Well, that was bollocks, wasn't it? That didn't last long. It didn't happen, did it? Make them. I mean, there isn't many here today. Make them spend money on your protests. They don't like spending money. Make them send in the pigs. There could well be pigs in this crowd, and I don't care if there are. But look around you. Do anybody here look like terrorists? They're the terrorists. They're the ones that want to stick a poorly researched vaccine in your bodies. Just look around you. Act against their infrastructure, and I'm not talking violence. Or maybe. Not people. Don't hurt people.
Yeah. Just hold on. Give him 2 minutes
Two more minutes.
2 minutes more, and then we walk. We're all here. We're all here in unity. Let's just stay and be patient. Bit of patience.
Do not imagine that your spiritual beliefs will protect you. Preparation and planning prevents piss poor performance. Be ready for their expansion of powers. Be stalwart like you are now. You want to walk. Be courageous and be consistent. Avoid the media. Mary Morrison didn't put Ita Buttrose in charge of the ABC for nothing. They're in their pockets. Finally, do not accept or believe any of the propaganda or lies. They never have, and they never will have your best interests at heart. George Orwell, Animal Farm. 4 legs good, 2 legs better. It didn't take the pigs long to turn that around to 4 legs good. Sorry, 4 legs good, 2 legs bad. It didn't take them long. 4 legs good, 2 legs better. They will tar you all as right-wing terrorists. They're coming for your children. Fuck them up before they fuck you up. 1.4 billion Indians can't be wrong. It's clear now. Ivermectin works.
Yes.
You just have to look at the graphs and the recent research that's been done. Don't be on the wrong side of history here, folks. I know you're not. Because their huge mortgage will not be an excuse for collaboration when the truth comes out. And put it this way, piano wire is very cheap. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you, Rick. Fantastic, inspiring speech from a real man. He's been through real hard knocks of life. and knows a lot about the real world and where we're at. Thank you all for coming for this walk so much. We're going to head off, we're going to go across the bridge, we're going to go into town, and we're going to go around Beach Street, back up around town and down through town. Then we're going to go over to the markets and we're going to say hello to the people at the market. Right? So if you want a placard, there are some placards in the back of the Peugeot.